listening to Wanderin the Hobby with Ryno. Brought to you by Ryno's Sports Cards and Memorabilia in Bellingham, Washington. For more, follow us on Instagram at Ryno's Sports Cards or rynosportscards.com.
Welcome to Wanderin the Hobby with Ryno, and welcome guys to 2025. This episode is brought to you by Beta products for a better life.
Whether you're collecting cards or chasing championships, peak performance starts with Beta Life products. Created by four-time NBA champion John Sally, Beta offers clean, high-quality supplements that fuel your body and support your wellness goals. Vegan, cruelty-free, and loaded with all natural ingredients, Beta is here to keep you at the top of your game. Ready to live better? Visit shopbetalife.com and use promo code Rynos for free shipping on your first order. That's shopbetalife.com, Beta products for a better life.
Welcome everybody back to Wanderin the Hobby with Ryno. 2025. We're excited. We survived 2024. Not only survived, we thrived, right? Yeah. We have Bailey here. You guys can't see it. Yeah. Bailey is here with me tonight. Man. Rynos is doing well. We had... we did some construction in here, right?
Yeah, put on the hard hats.
Yeah, put on the hard hats. Brad took out some screws from a couple things. That was cool. 24 was amazing for us. There was a lot of growth inside the shop. We got to see a lot of growth in the hobby as well with Fanatics taking over a lot of the stuff and making a lot of their unlicensed product and hype behind all of that. We can get into that a little bit more, but welcome, guys, to the first episode of Wanderin the Hobby with Ryno. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing, though, I was just kind of thinking about. What the heck is going on with Pokemon right now? It's the just stuff is jumping from, past couple of days, even it's increased in 20, 30%. Sealed box, sealed wax, singles, slabs, everything. It's just going crazy right now.
It has, and it's... we were talking about that with Surging Sparks, right? So we do pre-orders here at Rynos for Pokemon and sports as well. But we did that with Surging Sparks. We did our pre-orders, and then we look at the prices that are getting closer, and we honored every pre-order. But we look at the prices, and we're like, holy cow, they've jumped incredibly. And so we kind of been keeping an eye on Prismatic that comes out on Friday, the 17th. Prismatic on TCG currently, $150 in ETB.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy to think about that. So I've been talking to a bunch of people. So we do a lot of the front row card shows. Shout out to those guys. Front row cards, fantastic. We're actually going to be there on the 18th and 19th. Bailey and I will set up at the booth down in Tacoma. But we're actually talking to customers, and 2025 for Pokemon is going to change, my opinion, of course, folks, going to change the look of Pokemon. Yeah. Based on just the prices, man. What is the Moonbreon? We were talking.
It was
today.
raw. It was like $1,200, $1,300, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
a couple people had BGS 10s down in Vegas, and it was $2,300, $2,400 card.
Incredible. 6 months ago, we were $900. We were buying a couple for the shop. We've had a couple come through, and now you're looking at $1,200, $1,300 raw for that card. Yeah, which is insane. And then you have the booster boxes that are still hovering around the $1,000, $1,100 range. Yeah. Watching the tracker with Pokemon is just incredible, just for what they're doing, and all the different artwork on it is getting more elaborate each time they come out with it. But they're talking about 2025 having Team Rocket set. We think that it's expensive now. Wait till Team Rocket comes out.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been seeing is they've a lot of the community they've been listening to them with. A lot of people want more nostalgic sets coming out. So you get like what we talked about earlier, like the black and white. You're getting Team Rocket. Was it Journey Together, I think, which is going to be like the new Gym Heroes series, stuff like that. So I mean, it's pulling in the people that are early to mid 20s into like early 30s of you grew up on all those of coming out. Like it was last Team Rocket, 2000, 2001, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So when the original Team Rocket came out, so it's just. They're trying to do like with sports cards of like they're pulling on the nostalgia effect, but it works a lot better because it is something that I feel like a lot of us have a lot more attachment to. Because I mean, we still watch today. I mean, there's times where I get on Netflix and watch the original like Indigo series and all that stuff of just because it's something that takes me back to then and something I know and enjoy watching of being able to see stuff from when you're a kid and stuff like that.
No, absolutely. Like we just got done with the Las Vegas front row card show an amazing show out there, 500 tables, tons of fun. I'd have to say 75% of that show was Pokemon.
Yeah, they could have done the whole show just Pokemon, and it was still filled.
Easily. Yeah. And, I mean, it was great for us because we were, part of that 25%, 20-25% out there, and so we did fantastic at the show. But it was so wild to look at that. Every row you're going down, you're seeing table after table with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of the understanding of what's happening with the hobby right now with them, and seeing how much these singles are going for. Not even just graded cards of Pokemon, like singles. I don't know. It's wild to me. It truly is.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the Pokemon people are kind of getting in on the sensation of chasing these cards, like wanting to rip these products, because I mean it is addicting. Of like, okay, I have the Prismatic, I'm trying to get the Umbreon SAR, the Sylveon, or Vaporeon or Jolteon and stuff like that. Of like, you want to be able to rip that card and say like, I pulled this card and get it graded and have the Black Label BGS10 and have the card of all cards, all that stuff. But,
right. Well, the pull rates are getting harder and harder too.
Yeah.
Like they talk about Surging Sparks, the pull rates are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, something else to talk about with that though, as like card shops are having to kind of pivot, right? So like sports cards, we're a sports card shop. We will forever be a sports card shop. But we're getting in new cases next week, and we're actually going down 4 feet in cases and putting in a new rack for Pokemon specifically. Like we're having to kind of change with the times as well. Of a lot of customers want Pokemon. We have sports card guys that are like, where's all this hype on this Pokemon? It's hilarious. We start talking to them about it, and we're like, Pikachu doesn't tear an Achilles twice, and things like that, and they get excited about it, and then they're talking about how their kids had Pokemon, and they want to go in their closet and go find it, and then they'll bring it into us, and we'll get a chance to talk about it, right? Yeah. And then Jay from Pro Card Grade Services gets a chance to grade some of these killer cards too. So I mean, as a card shop owner, pivoting with that market is something like I didn't realize we were going to have to do so quickly, to be honest with you. I mean, because we'll have a couple of days where it's a 50-50 split, Pokemon and sports inside the shop. And when it started, it was an 80-20, then 70-30. And now we'll have a Saturday where we'll get wiped out of all of our ETBs and singles and things like that. So it's definitely interesting what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So we have card shows in general, something that we've been doing a lot more of. We haven't really been doing many of the mall shows, but Bailey, you and I are going down to Tacoma the 18th, 19th, like we had mentioned, and we're going to be setting up there. Seeing like how these front row card shows are growing it gives everybody excitement in the hobby again, to be honest with you, because the Tacoma started in Seattle when they came over here. Yeah. Right at the DoubleTree. Mm-hmm. Horrible. It was like 110 degrees in there, shoulder to shoulder. That was rough. Yeah. And then it moved to Tacoma, and that's 225 tables,
something like that.
Yeah. Now they're talking about 275 tables, and those are already sold out, right? And it's the room next door. So getting to see these shows evolve is exciting to be a part of it, because we're a part of so many of the front row card shows, and they take care of us every single time. Dan and his team are just amazing people. But getting to see like the interactions with customers, they're bringing some big boy cards to these shows, right? Yeah. So like, tell about like in Vegas. We're there.
I mean, yeah, in Vegas, there was cards that I would never even have dreamed of seeing. It's just some crazy stuff. Stuff a lot of people don't open. You don't really see a lot of people come in and rip, like Prism Choice, going like Anthony Edwards hunting. Yeah. Tyrese Maxey, like those type of guys of like, especially up in here, we don't get a lot of basketball, so it's cool for me because I'm more on the basketball side of stuff. But yeah, just seeing cards that are like, man, what the heck did that come out of? Or, what's that go for? And you look at some of these prices and it's like, holy cow. Like we had that one guy walk up with like the LeBron patch. What else did he have?
Oh, $70,000?
Yeah.
Right, $70,000.
Like, he hands it to me, and I'm like, yeah, you can go ahead and hand it to the next guy. I don't know what I'm even looking at.
BGS 9.5, it's a patch auto rookie LeBron. He had $70K on it. Now, realistically, the card was like a $35,000 to $40,000 card, but my goodness, that was a beautiful card.
Was holding a Toyota Tundra in my hand, essentially.
Right? Yeah.
Like, just a full car.
Yeah, and we do get an opportunity to see some fun things like that at the shows. But I mean, we have a blast with a lot of the kids coming up and wanting to sell their cards. They know their comps, which is a lot of fun to see at these shows. They come up, they tell you how much the last one sold for, what they wanted for. They're great at negotiating, and we have a blast with it too. We always make sure that collectors get the card that they want in their hands. Mm-hmm. Again, I screamed from the mountaintop. We don't have a museum here. We have a shop. We have a hobby shop for collectors that we want to get the cards in. The same thing at the shows, man.
Yeah.
When we do these shows, like we buy, sell, trade. That's what we do. We buy, sell, trade the entire day, and we have a good time doing it as well.
Yeah. The time we walk out when we don't have cards is usually the best time.
And that's been the last 2 shows. Last show in Tacoma, we wound up meeting up with my buddies Erdman, Kyle, and we wound up buying a whole collection from him.
Yeah.
Speaking of buying collections, we sold out 95% in Vegas. Over the past 2 to 3 days, we've purchased over 6,000 cards already.
Yeah.
6,000 singles.
Yeah, it's been a grind in shop for sure the past couple of days.
It has been a grind.
It's been some tedious work, but
lots of stickering, lots of pricing, lots of negotiating, which has been a blast to do because we obviously enjoy that so much because that's what the hobby's about. We get all these new cards, and we do have a lot of local guys who like to rip in here and then sell back to us, and we get the benefit of both sides. We get the benefit of seeing their excitement ripping it, and then we get to see the benefit of them excited to get some cash in their hands.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of fun to do that. But yeah, so we're going to be all prepared. We're set. We're set for Tacoma. We're set for the one in, what do we have? Tacoma coming up next weekend. Well, tomorrow, just to drop this, we got the Koga fights. We got fights down in Tulalip. So Team Rynos is going to be down in Tulalip Casino. We're going to be down there watching those guys. We got VIP because we are sponsors of them. And then we have, next weekend, we have our front row card show in Tacoma. Then February, we have some big stuff happening. February 22nd at Rynos. A lot of people are going to get to see the remodel, things like that as well. And then at that in March, we're going down to Portland for the Portland front row card show. And then nothing in April. And then we have May, we're going to San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be traveling all over the place for these card shows. Maybe do some mall ones in between. Maybe send Bailey down there, get his feet wet for some fun, for some minor card shows.
Fun little Saturday.
Yeah, got to spice it up a little bit for us, definitely. It's crazy, right? So we're watching the college playoffs. We're also watching the NFL playoffs. We have a customer, great guy of the shop. He actually ripped 2 of the 2018 contenders football. Pulled 2 Josh Allen on-card rookie autos.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Crazy. Back-to-back boxes.
Yeah, called a shot on both.
Right? Called a shot. Sells one of them to us, raw. We sell it off. He grades the other one, 10-10.
Yeah.
10-10. So we're checking out comps. We're seeing comps for the card, and it's Josh Allen's, right? So it's a great quarterback. He's top 3 currently this year.
Depending on how you want to pick it, yeah. He's
right.
top 3 guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden O'Connell, number 1, right? Then Patrick Mahomes. So
Russ.
Yeah. So we have, anyways, make a long story short, when we're comping cards, you can actually see throughout the year what's happening with the card. It starts $2,200, $2,400. Last couple of sold, $4,000 for a PSA 10 for this card, right? So we're going to be picking this card up from him. We're taking all the risk with this card because what happens if he loses this Saturday?
Saturday or Sunday, yeah, I can't remember when they play. But yeah, I mean the biggest thing is if he loses this opening weekend a wild card, it definitely takes a big hit. But if he continues pushing through and they keep winning games and he can get to a Super Bowl, it takes a big hit the opposite way, right? Like of going positive instead of negative.
Right. But we try to figure out what the bump is on these cards. So that's one of the things with it. Like with you don't want to buy at the height of football season, right? So buying Jaden Daniels right now as a card shop owner would be kind of crazy because we're buying at a premium.
Yeah.
So what happens if he loses his first game in a playoff and he looks horrible? How far down does that card go? And we find that out a lot, right? So we have thousands of cards in shop. We comp them before we go to shows. We miss a couple here and there, obviously. But there's times where a card will sit for 2-3 weeks inside the case because we don't sell too much on eBay. We like our local customers to be able to get the pick of them. But 2-3 weeks in the case, if that guy has 2 bad games in a row, well, there goes that card, right?
Especially with football, right? Like basketball, baseball, it's a little different. Like,
it
takes them a couple weeks before they're like, okay, this is not just a trend, or this is an actual pattern, and like he's not playing well. I mean, like Julio, we saw that this year, right? Julio took a big hit in a lot of his stuff to where he's like actually affordable now.
Yeah.
For people that are trying to that want to PC him and stuff like that. But football, you have one bad game and it's what have you done for me lately? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's people, right? Just real quick with it too. The people that sit on the bench, the Arch Mannings of the world. He plays a couple of games. His cards are through the roof. We actually just picked up one of his silver autos for $550. When that card first dropped, it was $220.
Yeah. Or even like talking about players sitting on the bench, you got like J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't played it down this year. Yeah. And his value almost goes up because the Vikings are good, so they insinuate he's being good with the Vikings, but it's like he hasn't done anything.
Right. He has Michael Penix's number. He has Michael Penix reselling currently right now, and he hasn't even stepped on the field yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see with the hobby. People get excited about that. Yeah, because JJ might not even be playing with the Vikings next year. They might actually put a package together to trade him away.
Which I think would be a mistake, but...
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I mean, I think people treat it a lot like stocks, right? Like you're trying to buy the next Apple stock, you're trying to buy the next Bitcoin, you're trying to buy the next, Amazon when it's low, and then, JJ goes in and has a CJ Stroud, technically rookie year because he didn't play this year, and it's like, holy smokes, like this dude might be the truth, and then the next year he turns around and has a CJ Stroud second year, and it's like, okay, maybe we need to reevaluate, and he was we put a little bit too much pressure on his upside and just let him develop, or even Bryce Young, right? You buy him when he's super low, playing really bad, he gets benched, you're like, man, I just need to offload this, and then all of a sudden he looks like he might have saved himself, and he's playing really well. So you never know.
No, it's definitely true. And I mean, then you go the ones that are going to be great, right? Brock Bowers. I mean, the greatest.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's how we're going to end it. He just gave that to me. Max Crosby, greatest defensive end.
No, I didn't say
Brock
that.
Bowers, greatest tight end.
I'll give you Brock Bowers, but
Wanderin the Hobby with Ryno ends tonight with that. But thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you guys tuning into this. Please make sure to reach out to us if you have any comments, questions, anything you'd like to hear on the podcast. We do appreciate all of the feedback and all of the questions to us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Ryno Sports Cards. Also, check out the TikTok, Ryno Sports Cards, again, as long as TikTok doesn't get banned anytime soon. But again, follow us on Instagram. Check us out on there. We're going to be going live on Whatnot as well. We're trying to get into Loop if they ever take my email. But again, follow us on Instagram. Check us out on Whatnot. Thank you, guys.
You're listening to Wanderin the Hobby with Ryno. Brought to you by Ryno Sports Cards and Memorabilia in Bellingham, Washington. For more, follow us on Instagram at Ryno Sports Cards or RynosSportsCards.com.